habit of people pleasing is one that can be built up over a long period of time, and it can feel embedded into who you are. It can feel like you don't know how to stop this destructive habit. And yet really all it takes is a simple mindset shift. And today, to get that mindset shift rolling, I'm gonna give you 5 questions that you can ask yourself if you are a people pleaser. And one thing at the end that is gonna help you get the ball rolling on changing this destructive habit in your life. So let's start with the definition. What even is people pleasing? Well, people pleasing is the compulsion or the desire to please other people at the cost of your own happiness. And that's the important part of this, is that it is about trying to make other people happy, and by so doing, giving yourself less. Now, that is very different from trying to make other people happy, trying to do things for other people. Those are good drives. Those are positive things. Having compassion for our fellow human is a really empowering and useful instinct. But when you are pleasing other people and it is causing you pain or suffering, that is people pleasing, and that's the thing we're gonna address today. This may be something that you are well aware of being a problem in your life. You may know that you have been a people pleaser since you were a child. Maybe you can remember as a young person wanting to make other people happy and sacrificing your own needs. Or maybe this is something that you're just starting to become aware of in your life. Maybe it is happening in one aspect of your life and not so much in other areas. Maybe you're a people pleaser at work, but in your personal life, you're really good about setting up those boundaries. Or maybe it's the other way around. Whatever the case for you, if you have an understanding that this may be a problem in your life or in the life of someone you care about, then let's get into these 5 questions that you can ask yourself to begin to change this mindset so that you can stop people pleasing. And at the very end, as I said, I am gonna give you one massive game changer you can start implementing today that is gonna make a big difference so that you can stop people pleasing. The first question that you can ask yourself to begin this mindset shift is, am I comfortable saying no? Now, being able to say no when people ask things of you is a really empowering and useful strategy. And yet so many people, especially people who identify as being a people pleaser, find that really uncomfortable. So say you're being asked to take on an extra assignment at work and you know that actually you're already at capacity, but you don't feel comfortable saying that, voicing that you can't really take anything on. So you say, yes, I'll do that. Or yeah, no problem. Yeah, absolutely. When really what you should be saying is no, but you don't feel comfortable. Enough yeses will lead you straight into burnout or not actually being able to achieve the things that you've taken on. So you could end up letting people down when all you were trying to do was the right thing, please those people around you. Maybe for you, it's in your family life. Maybe you take on all of the additional responsibilities. You say yes to this job and yes to this errand when you can't really satisfy all of those requirements. But that is a really big symptom of being a people pleaser, is that inability to say no. So when you asked yourself that question, do I feel comfortable saying no? If the answer is no, I don't feel comfortable saying no, then start to experiment with giving yourself permission to say no. And I just want to tag onto that because that's something that I talk a lot about. And in fact, if you're interested in understanding your personal boundaries and getting comfortable with that idea of saying no, do check out this video here where I go into a step-by-step strategy on how to develop that in your life. But it is really important to understand that no doesn't have to be abrupt. No can, in fact, be an act of compassion and respect for yourself and for the people you're talking to. But if this is a problem for you, no is definitely something you want to start embracing in order to make that mindset shift and stop being that people pleaser. The second question you want to be asking yourself to make this all-important mindset shift is, am I overly apologizing? Do you find yourself saying sorry more often than not. Apologizing for things that maybe didn't even have anything to do with you, or apologizing for things that you were absolutely justified in. Again, let's take an example of taking on too much at work and not being able to just own that and go, no, I didn't get that done. It doesn't have to be followed with an apology. A reason for sure, a justification, absolutely, an explanation for sure, but not necessarily an apology. When we overly apologize, we're diminishing our sense of self. We are belittling who we are in the eyes of the people we're apologizing to. Of course, sometimes an apology is absolutely warranted. If you've messed up, of course it's important to voice that and to apologize. If you've hurt someone, absolutely make that apology. But if you are overly apologizing, then you can be sure that is a sign and a symptom of people pleasing. And you can give yourself permission to stop apologizing for things that are not your fault and that don't require that apology. And just by making that small shift, you will start to feel more empowerment and be able to take charge of your actions and be able to start serving you in a more wholesome way. The third question you want to ask yourself in order to make this really important mindset shift is, have I found my community? What I mean by this is sometimes we get stuck into this loop of people pleasing because we're spending time with the wrong people, with people that we feel we need to satisfy, or people that we feel we are not living up to the standards that they have set for us. And so we're people pleasing. We're trying to please those people because we feel we're not enough. But if you find a community, friendship groups, relationships, colleagues that value you for who you are as you are, then that need to overly please them will dissipate because you understand that you are enough in who you are. And that of course you will work to be better and you will continue your personal journey of self-growth because you know how valuable that is, but you won't feel the need to please others in order to carve out your value in their eyes. So when you're asking this question, try to look around at the people that you are spending the most time with and ask yourself, do they value you for who you are as you are? Because you are enough. You don't need to be pleasing these people at a cost to yourself. The fourth question you want to ask yourself is, am I communicating my needs? This is a really important one because what often happens as a people pleaser is you may take on more than you can, or you may do things for other people in order to please them. And that is sacrificing what you need. And yet, if you're not actually communicating your needs, then other people don't know necessarily that they have taken advantage of the situation. They may not realize that you're not satisfying your own needs or that you have agreed to do something and it is causing you to not be able to fulfill what you need. And this can build up a lot of resentment. And I've seen people pleasers who finally get to that breaking point and they blow up and they say, yeah, but you're not doing this for me. I can't keep doing this for you. And yet that person that you've been trying to satisfy, that you have been trying to please, may have been completely in the dark. And they may turn back to you and say, yeah, but you never said that you weren't getting what you needed, or you never communicated what it was that I needed to do for you. So ask yourself this really important question. Am I communicating my needs to the people around me? And if you feel that you're not, then start practicing. Check out the resources below because in the description box, I have put a lot of free resources that are gonna help you to develop your voice, to be able to say what it is you need and be able to communicate that to the people around you so that you can make this all important shift. The fifth question you want to ask yourself is, am I being authentic? Am I actually serving myself? When I am with a group of people, am I just mirroring what they do? Actually, statistically, 30% of American adults say that they mirror the people that they are around instead of acting out of their own integrity. Instead of acting how they believe they should be in that situation, they mirror what's around them. And this can be very destructive, and for a people pleaser, can be damaging to your sense of self. Are you being authentic to who you know you are? When you are powered up by the conviction of your self-interest and who you know you are, and you know that you can act in a way that is true to that person you know you are, then the likelihood of people-pleasing really lowers, because you're able to make decisions based on what you know is true to you. And this leads directly into the game changer that I mentioned I was gonna give you, that you can start doing now to help you break this cycle of people pleasing. And that is to dig deep into your values. What is important to you? What are the things that matter most to you as you are now? See, what happens often is that we may have values that we've kept from our childhood that actually are no longer relevant to the person we are now, the person that we want to become. Do this simple exercise today to start making a change in who you're gonna be tomorrow. And that is to question, what are my values now? What do I care most about? And if you want some help and support in understanding what your values are, doing that amazing deep dive into your core values, check out the description box below. I've got some free resources there that are gonna help you make that change. Another key reason why understanding your core values is so important is that you may be following a set of false values. You may be following values that the crowd is following that actually aren't what matter most to you. But you're never gonna know that. You're always just gonna feel this disjunct or this drive to people please unless you look deep into what your values are based on who you are right now. So check out the description box below and leave me a comment. Tell me what your experience of people pleasing is. Use the resources of this incredible community so that we can support each other making this mindset shift. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you again real soon.